Hi, everyone. Happy to have you here with me in the locker room this evening. I'm Alan Locher. Before we begin tonight, I want to take a moment to acknowledge some very sad news that deeply impacted the daytime community. Yesterday, we learned of the passing of Anthony Geary, a true legend whose work forever changed the landscape of daytime TV. Our hearts are with his family, friends, his husband, and the generation of fans who loved him. We honor his legacy and the extraordinary mark he leaves behind. Now, today we are welcoming one of Salem's newest faces, actor Hank Northrop, who made his Days of Our Lives debut this past October as Liam, a character already stirring things up in the Carver and Williams worlds. Hank is stepping into daytime with a legacy that longtime fans know very well. He is a son of two icons, the late Wayne Northrop, the original Roman Brady, and later Dr. Alex North, and Lynn Herring, beloved for her unforgettable run as Lucy Coe on General Hospital in Port Charles. We'll talk about Hank's road to the role, his first days in Salem, and how he's navigating life and what it means to carry forward a family tradition in daytime television. Please help me welcome Hank Northrop to the locker room. Hey there.
Hey, Alan, thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege, such an honor.
You are so welcome. It's so nice to meet you. Before we dive into days, I know, with Mom's connection to General Hospital, did you know Tony Geary, meet him?
Absolutely. He was a really big part of my childhood, and I was so sad to learn of his passing. It's actually kind of a lighthearted story about it. My brother and I would reenact Luke and Laura scenes when we were kids growing up. Literally, we take turns. We had a blonde wig. One of us would be Laura, one of us would be Luke, and we just switch back and forth. And I got to get my mom to have the video, but there's video of us doing it for just hours and hours on end, and just over the top, just Luke, Laura, Luke, just me and my brother. It was so much fun. And he honestly, we would do fan events with him. And back when GH would go to Puerto Rico, he would always just be the nicest guy to me and my brother. I have so much fond memories of him. And he was just such a kind person. And obviously, 8-time Emmy winner, I think, just an incredible actor, on and off the screen, a great guy. So from a personal perspective, I was so sad to learn. And I know my mom too, she's devastated, but what a legacy for him, and what an icon for sure.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's the end of an era, truly,
Yeah.
because he really,
Yeah.
30
who doesn't
million
know Luke and
people
Laura?
watched, 30 million people, 31 million people watched that wedding. It's insane to think about that.
Crazy. It's
Well,
crazy.
you are part, of a show that just turned 60 years old. How does it feel to finally be part of the Days of Our Lives family yourself?
Sure. Man, that is such an emotionally charged question, because obviously my dad was such a huge part of the show, and the show was such a huge part of him as well. And to be able to step into his shoes in any capacity, it has been my dream my whole life, because he was the greatest father a kid could ever ask for. He was such a just shining example of what a man should be, such a gentleman, but also had a lot of fun. A lot of people know about his antics on and off the set. He was such a comedian as well, but also just such a talented actor. So for me to be able to have any kind of impact on his legacy, it means the world. And so for Days to invite me, it was such a healing process after his passing. And just the first day on set, meeting James, meeting Jim, and just seeing all the old actors who used to work with them, and all the stories they told me, and just all the hugs and love. It was and
Well,
it is, and it has been
I
so
want to
special.
get to that.
Yeah.
God, you just made me think of something, and it
Sure.
slipped my mind. But I wanted to say, Mysterio 1570 said your dad was a great Roman Brady.
Oh yeah, he was so good, so good. I watched a couple of his old clips like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, this guy is what a phenomenal actor. Like, he's my dad. Sure, I love him. I'm biased, but also just from an artistic standpoint, I was like, he is so just grounded and just real and just raw. And the scenes with Marlene are just so good. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, I better be doing some good work on Days if I'm trying to live up to this guy. He was so talented. Absolutely.
I love that. Well, walk us through how this all came together. Audition process. I know you got the phone call on your birthday. which, you know, that's a pretty good birthday present, let me say.
Pretty great birthday present. Yeah. So obviously very bittersweet. My dad passed the day after Thanksgiving of last year. And I had done just the initial audition right around that time. And it was just, you know, just a self-tape, send it in. Wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, that's so nice days to have me audition. But obviously my thoughts were with my dad. And then I had a call back with Marnie, who I love. She's just such a sweet lady and just so talented at what she does as well. Had the call back, forgot about that as well, was dealing with my dad's passing. And then, you know, like a month or two, month and a half goes by. And literally on January 9th, my birthday, the first birthday after my dad's passing, I got a call from Days of Our Lives saying, would you like to be on the show? You booked the role. And broke down into tears, obviously. I mean, so much, so many emotions.
So much emotion.
Crazy, just crazy. Yeah, I mean, obviously so sad, but also just so happy to finally be on a show that I idolized growing up, and just all the history with all the actors, and just, you know, just the smorgasbord of crazy emotions. And yeah, I mean, there's no way to describe it without sounding like a lunatic, because it was happiness and sadness and just chaos, but also calmness. You name it, I was going through it, but just such a blessing. And I'm so honored to be able to be on the show.
How do you pronounce Liam's last name?
Selejko. I remember I got the script, and the first time I was like, "Oh, Selejko." It's like it's like an Eastern European Selejko, no doubt. And then
I meant to ask that before we went live, and I wasn't going to read that in the intro. Try to do it myself because I would have butchered it.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Absolutely. I still have to this day. I've said it, you know, so many times now. I'm still like, okay, it's Selejko. Say it properly when you're doing the scene. So
one of the fans is wondering if you're related to the Selejkos from the 1980s on the show.
I would love to give away all the spoilers. I would love to say every single thing, but I can neither confirm nor deny the Selejko connection. Yeah.
Well, you know, speaking of emotion, what do you think your dad would have said? That must have been like thinking, because you had to have thought of, you know.
Absolutely.
Like, I think I wish my mom and dad were here to see me do this show, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, like, yeah.
It's he was such a just proud, loving, supportive father. I will say this though, him and my mom, they know the industry in and out. They know how hard it is. So they were like, maybe don't study acting. You know, maybe let's go a different route, you know, get a real job, real degree. Because they just know how you know how hard it is. So he never said no to it. They're being realistic and just being honestly good parents. Let's be honest, they're just looking out for me. And of course, being the rebel kid, I was like, no, it's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be fine. But you know, he supported me the whole time. It was never like, don't do this. He was like, of course, you have my full support, but there are going to be bumps in the road. He was very realistic with me. That being said, I do think that he would be very proud. I just have to say that from my heart, because he loved acting and he was very good at what he did. And I have trained just extensively and been doing this for, 15 years now. And I like to take pride in my work as well. And I hope what the fans end up seeing is something that they can relate to, and something that is believable, and something that would make him proud. And that was my goal. Just taking this role was, I want to make my dad proud. And I think I've managed to do that so far, hopefully. So,
well, I'm sure you have. And Mom, did you?
Yes.
You said you watched your dad recently. Did you watch
I did.
yourself after your October debut?
I did. We had a little family watch party, just because it was so special. And I hate watching myself so much, but I powered through it. My mom she bought me an hourglass with like a Days of Our Lives logo saying my air dates and like my character's name on the bottom of it. So cute, and it's literally on my dresser.
Oh, I love that. Here.
But yeah, we had the whole family over. Grandma in Seattle was also tuning in, and we were FaceTiming with her, and she was like having audio issues. Like, wait, I can't hear. What's going on? Who are you? You're Leo? No, there's already a Leo on the show. What are we? No, Liam. It was a blast. But yeah, we all watched it together, and I think it turned out okay. And there's still a lot to come, so a lot more to be excited about for sure.
Well, that's awesome. For anybody watching who doesn't know who Liam is, how would you describe him?
Yeah, so he comes on strong. He's kind of this bad boy, edgy, guy. He's illiterate, so he kind of got failed by the schooling system. He was able to pass through high school by barely being literate. He can't read a book. His parents have been in jail, so he's kind of been on his own, rough and tumble. Got involved in some bad things in his past, and he bullied Theo Carver in high school. They went to school together, and so he wasn't a great guy, growing up especially. Now it's just been revealed in my second episode that he has a son, and that he's basically just trying to do anything he can to provide for his son. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's just trying to do what he knows how to do to provide for his kid. So he's a bad boy for sure. He's got an edge. He's also very, self-conscious. I mean, he's illiterate, which is very embarrassing for anyone, right? Especially, being in his mid to late 20s. So for him, he's got a lot of just animosity. His parents never really raised him right. So he's just trying to navigate life the best he can and do the best for his son. And he comes from a dark place, which has actually been fun to get into, because it's not me at all. I love diving into the dark stuff. So it's been fun.
Have you felt your dad's presence on set?
Okay, this is a crazy story. I don't even know if you'll believe it when I tell you. I'm not into the whole voodoo, spiritual system too much. I believe in a lot of, powerful stuff, but this was wild. The first day after I did everything, got through the set, I came out to my car, and I was born on 12/12. That was when I was born. And literally I got to my car, I brought up a picture of my dad and went to thank him, and I looked at my phone, and it was 12/12 on the dot. And I was like, this can't be. I mean, of all the time to be during the day, it's 12/12 when I'm here thanking my dad in my car after working all morning long on his show. So that was so cosmic. Felt his presence absolutely. I can just feel him every time I step on a set, every time I pull into the parking lot there, because he just had such a lasting legacy there. And just with the people too, just with all the older actors who worked with him, they all have such great stories and great memories of him, that it's always there. He's always around, which is just so special and so touching. It's such a gift.
I love that. And I'm my home address was 642, and a lot of times I'll see that on the radio and I feel like it's mom,
There you go. Yeah, there's something special.
And I'm with you. I don't buy all of that, but it's a nice thing. I think it's a great feeling to have, and
absolutely. It's
something like that.
Sure, it could be random, but also, even if it is random, it still gives you that sense that they're there with you. So that makes all the difference. It's so
I couldn't agree more. And in the world we live, it's nice to feel something that's powerful.
Yes, especially nowadays. Yes, we need all the love and all the support we can get, for sure.
100%. Well, you had mentioned Theo and Abe earlier. When you came to Salem, you connected to Theo, Abe, and Julie. Mm-hmm. What excited you most about those early scenes? And come on, working with James Reynolds, Susan Seaforth Hayes, and Tyler Andrews.
Absolutely. Well, James was the first one I met, and the best part about that was they didn't tell him that I was coming. He had no idea that he was going to be working. He's like, "Who's this? This Liam's a new guy, just some delinquent coming into my bookstore. I got a tour, whatever." And I showed up, and literally the first time I saw him was when we're about to roll. And days fast all the time. And he just looked at me. And he like did one of those double takes. Wait, Hank, Wayne's kid? I was like, yeah. Did they not tell you that I was going to be your scene partner? He's like, no, they didn't. And we just the biggest bear hug. We started laughing and just joking, and like I was fixing his tie, he was booping me on the nose. We were just you name it, we're just losing our minds. And literally, everyone's like, give them their moment, but also, guys, we have a show that we have to run, so let's pick production up a little bit. But literally, we had the best time together, because obviously it's a confrontational scene. I don't want to be there. He's trying to do his best to help this kid. And so it was so opposite of what we were actually feeling as people, because we want to do is hug each other and embrace each other, that we literally had to be like, okay, we're actors now. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's get into this. And then after every take, we just be like, oh my God, tell me more about your life. How's everything going? Oh my God, your dad did this. We did that. And then we just sat literally in his dressing room for like a good hour and a half after we all wrapped, and just talked and just connected. It was so beautiful. So great.
Is there one story since you have moved into Salem that has stuck with you about your dad that somebody has shared?
Yeah, the thing that I'll share There's a lot of ones that I probably shouldn't share, but this one I think I can get away with. My dad was a notorious prankster, as most people know who follow Days, and he played a prank on Jim one day. Jim is very punctual. He's so on it. He's on time all the time, right? He never messes up. He's such a just professional actor in all the best ways. But one day when they were filming, his alarm didn't go off, and he accidentally slept in, and so we got a call from the producers saying, you got to get to set, got to get to set. And in his head, he was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. This is the end of it. And by the time he got there, my dad had set up a casting call for Abe Carver, and he had hired actors and like people around the studio to just stand outside in line with scripts as if they were reading for the role, the recast of Abe Carver. And so when Jim came into set, he's looking, and there was a sign my dad had printed out that said, reading for the role of Abe Carver. And so he came in thinking he'd been fired, and that all these actors were reading for his part. And then my dad just came and just gave him the biggest hug. He said, like, hey, don't be late next time. You're not getting fired. This is all a joke.
Amazing. You just reminded me of when I interviewed Deirdre. I think she told a funny story, had to do with water or something. I have to look it up. I have to look it up. But definitely there were definitely pranks that she was.
I know that, yeah, she like dumped a bucket of water or put like water in the bed for him at some point.
Correct.
Yes.
It might have been the bed. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was the bed. Yeah. And then also he did a prank where he had like a trench coat, and he just had a bunch of jingle bells and like ornaments in there during Christmas. And he literally was just in his underwear, and he just like opened it up on set for everyone. And he just wiggled around, and just crazy stuff. Just, just absurdist stuff that just
was he that funny smile. At home?
He was hilarious. I mean, he'd be stern when he needed to be stern, and funny. But yeah, to all his friends, he was the class clown, and he was always joking around. But the best part about him too is he's just so kind. Like even at the ranch, nobody lives up there. He would know every single neighbor. We'd drive by them on a dirt road. He'd slow down, honk, talk to them for a good 15, 20 minutes, make sure they were doing okay, and then go on with his day. And everything was just about other people for him. He was such a giving human being in so many ways that it's just such an inspiration to have him as a father.
I love how you talk about him. For mom and dad and what they did for a living, what is your sort of earliest memory? Like when did it click for you that this is what they did? Do you remember?
It was the big events. So back in the day, like the daytime Emmys, I think they would happen in New York, and there would be like the Soap Opera Digest Awards and all those big events, and huge amphitheaters. And to your point, that was back when soaps were doing 30 million people watching an episode, a wedding episode. Like they were doing Super Bowl numbers. I mean, the soaps, I mean, they're still obviously amazing, but back then just the numbers of people watching were astronomical. So to be flown to New York, we'd get like a limo given to us to go to the airport, and they'd fly us to New York, limo us to a hotel, and then we'd sit there and have like a professional babysitter like handle us while our parents were on television in these huge gowns my mom would wear, and my dad would be in these sharp tuxes, and they'd be presenting at the daytime Emmys, and it just looked like the Oscars. And just going to those events and like seeing the fans too, just being so adamant about meeting them, and it was just such a special thing. And as a kid, I still knew, like, I grew up with that world, but I knew that wasn't normal, obviously. And my parents did such a good job of just keeping us grounded and being like, this is just what we do as a living. We're still just simple ranch folk. We love getting dirty in the mud. Like that's just a part of our lives, So they were such good grounding parents. But yeah, to go to those big events was crazy as a kid, to like fly to New York and see the Emmys and all that fun stuff was when you were like, okay, my parents do something pretty cool.
Yeah. They definitely do. How early in your journey did you realize this is the path you were going to follow in?
Very early. I mean, I idolized my father, especially. He's my hero. My mom too, but just him as a man, he's everything I want to be as a person. And just to have him in my life, I wanted to do everything he did. Your heroes, you want to emulate them the best you can. And from birth, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to entertain. Like I said, we do the Luke and Laura videos, me and my brother, we do the high school plays, all that fun stuff. But they were always, saying, let's slow it down. The acting thing isn't as glamorous as we're making it out to be. But I always wanted to do it. I went to USC, studied theater there as a minor. They wouldn't let me major, which is also smart. Get a real degree too. They said. I was like, okay, I'm still going to be an actor, but sure, I'll do it. I'll do what you want.
Well, what
And then
did you major in?
so I majored in international relations and communication. So like a double major of basically being like very vague things that I could potentially do a bunch of different things, but let's be honest, secretly, I'm going to go be an actor. And I was taking all the theater classes anyway. So I was taking like dialects while I was taking international global security classes, just fun stuff like that. So, and then I was taking classes outside of USC as well. So it was always something I wanted to do.
And did you watch your parents on TV back in the day?
They wouldn't let us. No, they wouldn't let us. Very rarely. If it was like a big episode and like, grandma and grandpa were home and they wanted to show the wedding or something, sure, we'd watch a little bit. But no, they were big adamant about like separating, that was their work. That was what they did. And then at home, it was about just raising me and my brother as best they could and kind of keeping us out of that crazy world as best they could.
And is your brother following as well?
So here's the funny thing. I wasn't allowed to major at USC in theater. They let him major in theater at USC. The younger child always gets the benefit of the doubt.
They do.
Yeah. He majored in theater at USC, but then he kind of took a different path. He got into event planning and he's done some real estate jobs, just been very successful on his own kind of path. But he always had the acting bug as well. I mean, he's very talented as well. So who knows? Maybe one day he'll be popping on the show with you, Alan, and talking about his role somewhere.
Will be popping up somewhere together.
Who knows? Never say never.
Yeah. Well, maybe somebody has to write something for the two of you and Mom.
There you go. That'd be hilarious. That would be so much fun and so much chaos, but so much fun. Absolutely.
What do you think you've learned from them about this business, about acting?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they definitely were very good about being realistic. That's a huge thing. Just being like, it's gonna be tough. You're not gonna just be handed anything on a silver platter. And if you really want to do this, you have to commit to it, and you have to be okay with the rejection and the no's. But also, they were honest. They're like, we love it. I mean, the highs are so high, and when you're doing the art that you love, there's not another feeling like it. So for me, it was always, whenever I was able to act, it was just that it rationalized everything for me. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. This is my dream. And they were very supportive about that, but just very rational as well, which is helpful.
You really seemed or seem very determined. You were on a path.
Yes, absolutely, on a path. And that's another thing I get from my dad and also my mom too, is just, once you start something, you finish it, and you determine if you're going to do something, do it 110%. So I've been trying. It hasn't all been roses, but
that first week in Salem, what was that like in terms of, here you are, you mentioned the speed earlier, were there a lot of nerves for you, because it's also
absolutely, yeah.
It's got to be doubly daunting knowing you're coming into, somewhere where your dad made such an impression.
Yes. I'll say, so I just finished up the Madison. So it's a new Taylor Sheridan show, Yellowstone spinoff. And literally right before I started days, I think I was in Texas filming for like a week and a half, a guest spot on the Madison with him. And we did probably per scene 13 to 24 takes. No joke. And they had 3 cameras, but then they'd move it around. It's just so many different, perfectionist level stuff. Amazing to watch, just the technical stuff. And I won't give anything away of the plot, but basically it was a scene where there's hundreds of extras and they were just doing all these different things, but also letting us play and, improv and do different things. It was just so many takes, right? So that's what I had in my head, fresh. 2 weeks later, I walk onto the day set and they're like, okay, so Jim and Hank, you got to stop hugging. We're already behind time. Let's go ahead and block. And by block, we mean you're there, boom, let's tape. And I was like, what is happening? Do the scene. I'm like, okay, that was a great rehearsal. And they're like, okay, we're moving on. Next thing, you're sitting at the desk. That was a take? What just happened? There's no way I acted good in that take. There's no chance. So literally it went from just so many different takes to one take at most. And it blew my mind. And I was like, oh, well, I hope it did okay. hopefully it looks good.
It's done. It's done. Ooh. You're on the next one.
On the next one. It was such a mind-blowing experience, but also just so cool, just so awesome. It's acting training, boot camp 101, dream. Like, if you can do a soap, you can do anything, honestly. Like, I've done a bunch of primetime TV shows, done a bunch of big movies, and they got time. They got time usually to prep. You got time to do the
13 takes is time.
13 takes, like, exactly. And I'm not saying that that's every, Taylor Sheridan show.
But
just for that, for those scenes. Still, you have a little bit of stuff usually to play with. And other shows I've done too, it's been like, okay, let's mix and match and play. We got some time. No. Days, we are one take wonders. And even if you stutter or if you trip, that's going to be the take they use. Unless you just completely flub and you just go blank and you're just like, okay. Then they'll just take it back a couple lines and moving right on. So that was mind blowing, but so fun, so much fun.
What is the Madison about?
So yeah, it's a Yellowstone spinoff. I'm sure I can't give too much away, but it's got Michelle Pfeiffer. She's anchoring.
Is this the one with Rip and Beth?
This is not the Rip and Beth one. That's another one. Taylor Sheridan's a genius. He's got so many different spinoffs happening. No, this one is about a suburban New York family where a tragedy happens and then they have to relocate to rural Montana, Yellowstone style. And it's all about that family's story. And from what I've seen and read the scripts and stuff, it is really well done. And obviously,
I've enjoyed everything he's done so far.
I mean, he's gold. He is gold right now. So yeah.
So what did that mean to get a Taylor Sheridan? Was that exciting?
Super cool. Yeah. My character, I probably can't say what my character is, but such a fun character.
Such a fun character. Trouble.
No trouble. I don't want to get in any trouble. And just such a fun character. Whole experience was amazing. His production value and his production team are the best of the best, top notch. So everything was phenomenal for sure.
Do you watch a lot of things yourself?
When I can, absolutely. Yeah. When I'm not busy, I love watching stuff. I love watching, the prestige kind of television just to really see what the cultural zeitgeist is. I mean, when Succession was going, just such good television. Obviously the Breaking Bads, the Mad Men, all those, prestige TV shows. I love that. And then you got to have,
the daughter, the show she's in, Shiv from
Succession. From Succession. How is it? I haven't seen that one yet.
All her fault.
Is it pretty good?
Really good.
Okay. She's so talented. She's amazing.
Is incredible in this series.
That whole cast from Succession is just top notch. Unbelievable show. Yeah. I'll check that one out then for sure. That's Shiv is fantastic. Oh my gosh.
She is something. I can't think of the name of the show. She won the Tony, but she did a show on Broadway where I think she played over 10 characters or something. It was an insane.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Good for her. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, and she's Australian, I think, or from, she's not American.
She's not American. I don't know if it's Australian or British.
Yeah.
I know that all those Brits and Aussies are so talented.
They're just so talented. And it's funny because they'll come and take all of our jobs, and then I'll watch their performance and I'm like, that's why they're taking all of our jobs, because they're just so damn good. They're just so good at what they do. It's crazy.
If you could pick an actor right now to work opposite, who would you choose?
So this is going to be a good one. So I just started watching Task with Tom Pelphrey.
I worked with Tom.
He's an ex-soap guy, and I didn't know he was an ex-soap guy. I loved him in Ozark, and just his character in Ozark was so awesome. And then I was watching Task, and I'm like, this guy's great. I just did some research, and he did 2 soaps, and I was like, oh my God, this is such an inspiration. What an amazing...
We knew when he came to Guiding Light, we actually created a reel, because, soaps have had people who've started and gone on.
So many.
I mean, absolutely. Matt Bomer and Tom did Guiding Light, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. But
Tommy
is an incredible...
I would love to work with him. He just seems like such a driven, just so in tune with his instrument actor. I would love to work opposite him. I'd love to do an intense thing with him because he does that so well. He does the brooding, edgy thing so well.
Speaking of intense, Task was pretty intense, but what he did in Ozark,
oh man, that made the show.
That taxi, was it the taxi, the Uber?
Yep. When he's just getting emotional. Oh my God, that was a masterclass. It doesn't get better than that. Does not get better than that.
Oh, I love that you
It's
said
crazy.
that. Tommy's, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
He
I'd love to
is.
meet him one day. You know, just shake his hand and fellow soap guy to soap guy. Hey, man, you're doing great. I love your
He
work.
is.
I respect you.
He is doing great. Yeah, that's wild. Besides mom and dad, who are some of the mentors who've helped, shape who you
I
are?
mean, absolutely. So I got Deidre Hall. Listen, I grew up with, David and Tully, her sons who are awesome. And she lives right up the road here for me. Since day one, she's been so supportive, and any question that I've had, she's been there to answer. And obviously she's just a daytime legend, like the daytime legend. So if there's anyone to ask about daytime questions, you can ask Deidre Hall. Obviously my mother helps a lot too, but Deidre's been kind of like a second mom on set. Every time I see her, just the biggest hug, just talk about, family and life. And then she'll give me tips and just kind of, daytime's just a little different. Like I'm used to just being as natural as possible, which also daytime do it. But then like the hold at the end, those little stairs at the end that you have to hold those moments. When I first did it, I thought I had done it long enough. And then I was like, okay, we're done. And they're like, Hank, you gotta hold the moment more. And I'm like, oh, was 15 seconds not okay? We're going for 30 seconds, which is just just a slight little variation, but stuff like that she's been super helpful with. And yeah, she's such a hero of mine, and I grew up with her, so interacting with her is always amazing. I love her to death.
I love that. I mean, it's really something though to come from something, like the Madison, where you did do all that, and then all of a sudden, it's like you were thrown onto the, Daytona 500, basically.
Absolutely. And people, it's like people don't understand. So I mean, every actor who's on a soap will tell you the speed is crazy. But until you're doing it, until you're in it, you don't understand what that means. And it literally is, to your point, the Daytona 500. It's the F1 of acting. You are just green means go, and away you go. And here's 27 pages of text, and then you're going from one set where you're crying to another set where you're angry to another set where you're happy in an order that you don't even know what the order is, and it gets flipped, and you're like, what is happening right now to my body? Like, I'm crying, but I'm happy. Wait, was that the wrong scene to cry in? It's such a roller coaster, but it's so fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, Citizen Morgan said, not only the best actors, but the hardest working ones too. So true.
Yes,
it's like
so
blue
true.
collar. Somebody who I interviewed once was like, it's like blue collar. I mean, you are, has, learning lines come easy?
It was a muscle. It was definitely a muscle I had to train. I always thought I was good at memorizing lines, and I had a little bit from my mom and dad. I mean, they both did it for, forever and ever. So I was able to kind of pick it up quicker, I'd say, than the average person. But still, every now and then I'll still to this day just be like, okay, yeah, I definitely flipped those two things. Yep, that was shouldn't have put that there. Okay, yeah, okay. I hope it was good.
Have you and mom compared notes, or who's going faster, GH or Days?
I will say Days goes faster. I will say that. Days
I had a feeling it was Days. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, from what I've been told, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Days moves the fastest out of all the soaps that from what I've heard from people. So yeah, come over to Days if you want to, get boot camp 101 acting. And
correct. Right.
Literally,
absolutely. Yeah.
And it's not for everyone. I will say that. I mean, I know just from personal experience, there's been very talented actors who go to daytime and they're like, I just can't keep up with that pace. It's just not for me. And it's not for everybody. It really isn't. You kind of have to really buy in. You also have to be so okay with just kind of letting go, because you can show up, have 27 pages memorized, and you think it's going to go a certain way, and you fall into that trap of like, okay, this is how it's going to go. And then the director will be like, no, let's do the exact opposite. And you just have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to be malleable. And a lot of people come in and they're like, I'm so, theater trained. I'm so like just technically trained that this has to be this way, this way, this way. Throw all that to the wind. when you get to daytime, you got to throw that to the wind, show up prepared as hell, but be ready to just work and play and have fun and interact and adjust and just go with the flow, or else you're going to just be like, oh my God, shut down, robot training. It's crazy.
I love that. Well, you've been so open and speaking publicly about your father's battle with Alzheimer's. For other people going through it, how would you describe the journey for you and your family?
Yeah. I mean, I love talking about it because if you don't talk about it, you just kind of hold it inside and it just eats away at you. And unfortunately, it is a disease that just affects so many people, far too many people. And for anyone who's been through it, you can know that it's just the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't wish that disease on my worst enemy, on the worst person. It's just to watch somebody, especially somebody like my dad, who was just such a strong, both physically, mentally, spiritually, everything, just such a strong person. I mean, he was a rancher, he was a cowboy, for God's sakes. He's salt of the earth, John Wayne type. To watch him slowly kind of melt away, and he never lost himself fully, but just to melt away in that way was the most painful thing I could imagine. Honestly, it was so difficult. And for anybody out there going through that, I would say just you got to focus on the positive best you can. You got to celebrate them best you can, and think of it as a gift. That was one of the things that the mindset shift I had was you know that this is happening. It's not like a sudden they get hit by a car, unfortunately, or it's sudden like cancer diagnosis. You have a runway, so say the things you want to say. Hug them as many times as you can hug them. Talk to them about whatever you want to talk to them about. Hold their hand, do anything that you even think about, do it and enjoy that and hold on to that, because that's going to save you. And those are the memories that you can then, when they pass, you can hold on to that and have no regrets. That's one of the great blessings of that disease for me, was just not having any regrets with my dad, because he was just so special. And I got to spend so much time with him. Every Sunday I would go to the motion picture house and see him with my brother for 2 years, every single Sunday. And we would talk and just sit and enjoy life together. So as bad as it was, there was also so much good and so much I'm grateful for.
Did
Sorry.
someone did someone encourage you to do that? Like, where did you find, the advice to do that, or was that something you just realized you had to do to?
It was never someone telling me exactly what to do. It was more of finding it out for myself, because we all have different ways to cope, obviously, and especially with something like that. There's so many different ways to handle it, and no one way is right. No one way it's all your own journey, and it's beautiful. However you can cope with it is beautiful. But just for me personally, as it was progressing, that's how I felt that I could deal with it the best. And of course I would have days where I was just breaking down and crying and just cursing the world and just being like, how are you letting this happen to such an amazing person? Of course, like, no way. And it wouldn't be healthy if I was pushing that down. I would let the emotions come when they came, of course. And that's also beautiful, because it means you care, and it means they've touched your life in such a positive way. So just to people out there, I mean, there's no right way, but I think you do have to hang on to as much positive as you can, or else it'll just eat you up. And you can't let that happen too much, I don't think, or else you're in a slippery slope. So got to stay strong.
Yeah, and I really do believe, from talking to many people I know, creating memories is a way, like, as best you can.
It is. And it's, you can frame it as that gift of you kind of know what to expect. So get in everything you want to get in with them. And that helps. It helps me to this day. Just looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad I had those Sundays with him and got to drive him around and, hold his hand and talk to him. And even just when he was, not really too coherent, just joking around, speaking gibberish together and just like playing and still like laughing and hugging. And it's just, just to have them around.
There's an actor, David A. Gregory, who was on One Life to Live, who lost his dad to Alzheimer's as well. And he talked about sometimes music would sort of help bring his dad out of it at, different times, like a song that would just remind, it was interesting how music brought a flinch of reality.
Absolutely. Music is beautiful. They say that's a big one. And also language. So if they could have spoken another language, a lot of times that part of their brain is kind of one of the last things to go. So he actually lived in Germany for a while, and he picked up some good German. To his dying day, he could speak fluent sentences of German. It would be hilarious. Out of nowhere, we'd just be sitting there, we'd be just watching a sunset together, and all of a sudden he would just go, and I'm like, whoa, what just happened then? And he would just, he would just like look at the sunset again and then kind of smile at me like, yeah, I still know. I still know German. And I can't speak a lick of German, but it was just so funny, just out of nowhere for him just to blurt that out. And then, music, songs, of course, he would just love to sing along to songs. So, they say that music and the language is the part of the brain that.
Interesting. I didn't know that about language. I didn't know that about language. Like you said, the fact that we don't have better ways to help people with this disease at this stage is really a shame, because we should.
We should. And I think it's coming. There is still a lot of, research being done, a lot of money being poured into it. And there's been some progress just from the studies I've been seeing, but listen, it just affects way too many people. And it is just a devastating disease. To lose oneself is just so hard to comprehend. It's just so painful. So for that to still be, with all the technology we have, still be not solvable is very hard to deal with. But I do think you got to be positive. I do think, sooner rather than later, they're going to come up with something. My dad was also on a medication that did slow it down for a good 2 years, and that gives people more time, which time at that point is the most valuable currency you could possibly have. And I think that will still progress, even if it's just slowing down the disease more years, 3 to 4 years. Anything will help. So hopefully they're able to soon come up with something.
Sure, hope so. You mentioned earlier, getting the part of Liam, helped deal with the grief. How did you deal? Is there advice you could give, for yourself? I know, grief comes in waves for all of us in so many different formats.
Yeah, it does. Like I said, the grief thing, you got to allow yourself, at least, I don't want to tell people what to do, but just in my experience, you just got to allow yourself to feel it. Because if you push it down too much, that's when you get into trouble. And sure, everyone can deal with it in their own ways, but when, in my own personal experience, when I was just pushing it down and being like, no, everything's fine, life is good, I still have this blessed life, blah, 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 blah. And then I'd feel it coming, I'd push it down. That just meant the next time it happened would be 10 times worse. And then I would just be miserable. So allow yourself to feel, but also don't judge it. I feel like a lot of people will be like, I can't be sad. They wouldn't want me to be sad. There's a lot of the mindset that I've heard, but you're sad because you love them, and you're sad because they had such an impact on you. Celebrate that sadness, right? If you didn't care about the person, then you wouldn't be sad, and that would be sad in its own way. When you have someone you love so much, celebrate how much you care and acknowledge how much you care. Deal with the grief however you feel comfortable, but don't judge the grief, I think, is very powerful, for me at least.
I love that. And you even said spending the time with your dad, but I also think today, while we have people around, ask those questions, talk to your family, learn your history before it's too late. I wish
even not even with people who are sick, just even if your grandpa's in perfect health, talk to them. Talk to them, learn about them. I promise you, they're 100% more interesting than you think you give them credit for. They have lived amazing lives. I promise you. And something they will say will just spark your intuition. You'll love it. It doesn't matter. Just talk to them. Sit down, have a conversation.
Yes, and it'll stick with you for sure, 100%. Talk to me. What are you most excited about for what's ahead, both for Liam, for your career?
Yeah, absolutely. For Liam, I know it's been, especially for the fans too, it's been slow burn, slow build up, which it's great though, because sometimes you throw a character down the throats of people, they get a little sick of them right away, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this is great. It's a slow build, slow burn, gives them a lot of runway, kind of what is this guy's deal? Builds a little intrigue. And honestly, there's a lot to look forward to with him, just from a fan perspective. He is not one note. My big thing I wanted to do was to not make him just this one note, angsty, smoldering bad boy. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I wanted to make him a full human. I wanted to layer it with humor. I wanted to layer it with just, kindness and intelligence sometimes, but in different ways, right? In his skin. So for me, it's going to be exciting when the fans really, when he starts ramping up, and when the fans really start to relate to him more and more and kind of see what he's all about. It's going to be fun. I think there's a lot of growth and a lot of kind of unexpected things, to not spoil anything. So I think it'll be fun.
This week, you and Jeremy get to bond about your shady pasts.
Yes, the Shady Past boys, the two bad boys. Hey man, what'd you do? Oh yeah, well, how about what I did? Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little bit of humor there as well. But yeah, it's cool when two characters who have that kind of like mindset get together. It's always fun.
Those like pasts.
Yes. It's so, especially in the soap world, it's just great. Sparks fly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're coming my way in April. You're coming to New Jersey. You're coming to Morristown with your mom.
There's the lovely Lucy Lynn Herring, my mother. Yes, her.
You will be at the Madison Hotel in Morristown, New Jersey, April 25th and 26th with STARSTRUCK events. There is a link, I believe, on YouTube, and if not, it will be there later today as well.
Fantastic, yeah. I'm looking for. We got to meet up.
I'm coming. I wanted to go last year when they were here in April, but I got sick. But I am coming this year. So
yes, it's going to be so good to see you in person.
It's about 20 minutes from here, so it's very close to me.
No excuse then. I better see you there then, Al.
Have you done any fan events yet?
This will be my first. I have a couple with so Rory Gibson on GH. He plays Michael. He's my good buddy. So we're going to do a couple Zoom events together, and then I think maybe an in-person one that's in the works as well. But I haven't done one so far, so I'm excited. I love the fans.
Did you work together? Is that how you know each other? It is.
Yeah, right? We did a movie years and years ago together, and then we've kept in touch and just kept tabs on each other's careers.
He's great. He's great as Michael.
Fantastic actor.
I'm a newbie to General Hospital just in the last 2 years, but to come in as a replacement, he's kicked it out of the park.
He's done amazing.
That's not easy.
Not easy to do. And I know he had his stint on, I think it was YNR before that, and he was great on YNR. So to come from another soap and then fill those huge shoes for a character that was there for so long, he's done amazing. And I take my hat off to him. He's a great actor. He's doing amazing.
Do you go online and look at fan response?
I try, and that was one of the things my mom especially was like, don't read it. Listen, soap fans are the best because of how passionate they are. I love soap fans. I grew up around them. I go to fan events with my parents, and it was so fun to watch them interact with my parents. And I'm so excited to interact with the fans. That's going to be the best. You can tell I'm a people person. I just love talking to people, so it's going to be so fun. But opinions are strong, right? Opinions are strong. And sometimes things get posted and you're like, man. Yeah.
Maybe just a little.
Yes. So I try and stay off of that stuff. Especially I'll maybe check out when, Liam starts really, really getting some momentum going, just to see how people are responding. Because I am very proud of the work I've done with him. So hopefully it resonates with the fans, because that's what it's all about. Or else, what's the point if we're not connecting to the fans?
I was going to ask, but I don't, I know, and you're not going to give anything away.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite scene that you've done?
It's a good question.
And you can just say it's to come. You don't have to talk about it.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, the first scene with Jim was just, as an emotional aspect, obviously my favorite scene, but there's been a few that I've really enjoyed playing and that I think are really, really meaty stuff. So hopefully the fans will enjoy them too. Yeah.
That's great. Did you, I know you didn't watch Mom and Dad, but did you watch yourself? Not yourself. Did you watch any soap growing up?
No, they didn't want me watching anything. Yeah, none of that. They didn't want me even involved in the world at all. Obviously, I go over to Deidre's house all the time and play with her kids, and like we're in the world. They're all friends,
Right.
Ken Schreiner is one of my mom's best friends. Jane Elliott, GH, all those people I grew up with. Days as well.
Yeah, it's a shame your mom doesn't work with any talented people either.
No, zero. I mean, 0%. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Crazy talent on.
That's the thing on all the soaps, though. On all soaps,
Yeah.
there's so much talent, and I don't think people recognize that who aren't avid soap watchers. I think people just are like, oh, soaps are soaps. It's like, no, these are some of the most talented actors in the world. To do what they do, to have the dialogue they have, and to even make it somewhat believable is insane. It's insane what these people are crying on cues, these emotional scenes, the anger, like it is beautiful. The art of soap acting is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I think
Yeah,
it needs to be appreciated
it
more.
really is a shame that it somehow got that bad rap at some point because it is. I mean, there are so many primetime actors who've come in and
So many,
who
so
can't
many.
do it.
Can't do it. Exactly. And there's also so many primetime actors who are primetime actors because they started on a soap opera, right? Like
Yes.
there's nowadays, I do think the stigma is less than it was. I think nowadays producers, casting directors are realizing that these soap actors are some of the most talented people ever. So why would we not have them on our primetime shows? I mean, Michael B. Jordan took
Oh
over
God.
Chadwick Boseman's role on what was it, All My Children or something. Like
Yeah.
two of the most famous, talented actors in the world switched roles on a soap. Like, what are we talking about here?
I
Like,
love that you know all of the great history there.
oh, absolutely, yeah. It's
You know,
like,
we started talking about Tony Geary, but even John Stamos, Rick Springfield, and Jonathan Jackson wrote the most beautiful, incredible tributes to Tony and how much he helped each of them
yeah,
learn
yeah,
to do what you're doing right now in Salem.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And that, speaks volumes, you know.
It does. I mean, he was the all-time legend of daytime. I mean, he was not only talented, but like I said, just such a kind person. Nobody can say a bad word about him. He was just a great, great human being, and for him to pass is just so sad for especially the daytime community, but for everybody. I mean, Luke and Laura they were an institution, still are today
They
for just
still are
pop
an
culture. Still
institution. I mean,
are.
the
Absolutely.
show still revolves around everything that they created a
Absolutely.
100%. What is it like for you? I mean, you're working with people who worked with, both parents, but like John Stamos and Rick Springfield and Jonathan, what they learned from Tony. What is it like learning from all these people you're spending every day with on set?
It's just such a gift, because the job would be borderline impossible without people helping people. Like, so it's such a giving atmosphere for an actor because literally you will go into the dressing room of somebody and you will just run lines together. Like, okay, when you getting your makeup done, okay, do you mind if I pop in while you're doing your makeup? We can run lines. It's such a collaborative atmosphere that I don't think people really understand. Like, you are spending all day with these people, and sure, maybe some days you'll have scenes with different people, and then you're popping into their dressing room. It's like, are you still running your scenes from earlier in the day with her? Okay, then can I pop in real quick? And yeah, come on in, let's do it. Okay, run, run, run. It's just such a collaboration that if you didn't have support from other actors, the show wouldn't happen. Like, it's such
Yeah.
a collaborative art form, which is the most beautiful part about it. I think
Your
it's so fun.
enthusiasm is spectacular, Hank.
Oh, thank you,
You
Alan. Thank
mentioned USC. Did you do a lot of theater at
Yeah.
school?
I did a lot of theater. I studied a lot of theater. I did a couple plays, but nothing crazy because, like I said, my parents wouldn't let me major in it. But I did a lot of theater there. A lot of just like dialects classes, theater classes. There was an on-camera audition class, which is one of the first at any major university, like a practical on-camera audition class for actors who graduate. I got to take that, which was such a blessing. And just USC was such a great institution for the entertainment world that I took as many classes just in that realm as I possibly could.
I love that.
I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a medium that your dream is to be in?
A Western, 100%. I want to do a Western. That is my dream. I want to be a cowboy. I want to do the John Wayne thing, even if it's something, something small. I don't care. I'd love to do a Western because, I grew up riding horses.
Yeah. Well,
roping.
that's great. Before I
yeah.
let you go, what was your experience on the ranch? What did you do on the ranch?
Yeah, I just helped my dad with everything, fixing fence, pounding T-posts, barbed wire, chainsawing things, doctoring cows, putting them in squeezes, clipping their hooves, you name it, all the ranch activities. But then I competed in rodeo growing up. and I do like events. So I do pole bending. So you ride a horse through poles, and then there was just sprints where you sprint down the arena and come back. And there's roping, team roping and stuff. I was never great at that, but gave that a try. You know, it was just such a different world than LA, and such a cool skill set to bring and to have for sure. So a Western, come on, I'm speaking it into existence one day.
Well, I mean, Taylor Sheridan is feeling.
I wish I could tell you my character. I can't, but yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk when it airs. I think it's coming out in like February or something.
When the Madison comes out, you come back. Yeah,
the Madison. Oh yeah.
Oh, somebody just said, when I first saw this upcoming live picture of Hank, I immediately thought of a young Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's so kind. I mean, who wouldn't love to hear that? Thank you so much. Whoever said that, you're my new hero. DM me. Let's go get coffee. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Morgan said that.
Yeah.
Hank,
let's go get coffee
pleasure.
Together.
Please stay in touch, and I can't wait to see all that you do.
Thank you so much, Alan. Honestly, it's an honor, a privilege to be on your show, and I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy to be in this world. Honestly, I'm just so grateful.
I feel that very, strongly. It's radiating off of you.
I'm glad.
Well, I know you're going away. Enjoy your vacation. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
And keep in touch when the Madison. You'll come on back.
Then I'll see you in New Jersey too, as well. We'll get.
You will
as well
in April. In April. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again to Hank Northrop for spending this time with us and for such an open and meaningful conversation. Can't wait to see what he does next. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upcoming episode. And if you enjoyed today's episode, which I sure hope you did, click the like button because it really does help. Join me tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for another episode featuring soap operas, fandom, and more, where we spotlight 3 passionate fans and explore the deep personal connections people have to daytime television and why these shows continue to matter. I also want to remind everybody about YouTube memberships here in the Locker Room. By clicking the join button, you'll get access to exclusive Q&As, our monthly Rewind community chat, special badges and emojis, and you'll be helping support the work that goes into bringing these conversations to life. And as always, everything you already enjoy remains free. And one other thing, you can download or listen to audio versions by searching the Locker Room on your favorite streaming platform. Thank you again for spending this hour with us. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow right here in the Locker Room.